What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Today we're back with the Tesla, my very cheap 2013 Tesla P85 that I got for $7,800. It's got a new battery that's still under warranty, but it's got almost 300,000 miles on it. So it's going to need a little bit of work, and today we're here to redo the front suspension, the only thing left, according to Firestone, until they can give it a proper alignment. So here it is, my 2013 P85 that I got for $7,800, and then later found out from the previous owner, the only owner, this is a one-owner car. Even today, it's still a one-owner car because I'm a dealership. I don't count as an owner. It's still a one-owner car with 272,000 miles on the odometer. The previous owner let me know he just had the battery replaced at a cost of $12,000, and it is under Tesla warranty. Now, we've done quite a bit to this car to bring it up to par, and there's still a little bit more to go. Now I have a creaking from the back end, and I think I know why. Some of you called it out in the video. I tightened down the rear control arm before I put a load on it. You're supposed to put the weight of the car on the suspension before tightening things up, like the control arms, these, I don't know what you even call these lateral arms or something. Look, upper control arms, these two right here are lower control arms. These two right here are also lower control arms. It has forward and rear lower control arms. I bought this whole kit for about $500 online, and it's enough to do the entire front end of the car. I just have to remember, before I tighten down all of these nuts and bolts, I need to put the weight of the car on the suspension components first. I'm also going to correct, probably off camera, the one back there. I'll have to take the wheel off, loosen up the bolts, and then tighten them back down now that the weight of the car is on it. So in order to do this, and this is not necessary, I was told that only my lower forward control arms were bad, which is probably these two right here. There's excessive play in the bushings. I decided, with almost 300,000 miles on the odometer, it's probably best just to do the whole thing. Now, you're probably thinking this is going to be a really complicated job, and it shouldn't be. I don't want to say that it's not, but it shouldn't be. It's going to involve removing the tub out of this car, which truly isn't all that difficult. I've done it about 1,000,000 times. All of these plastics just pop off. You take the weather stripping off, and then you start pulling out parts of the interior. All of this stuff is like Legos. It just comes apart. Once we get all of this out of the tub, we should have access to not only the upper control arms, but also some pretty cool components that are hiding underneath. All right, now I haven't touched this car in a while. In fact, I haven't driven it at all in quite a while because I was kind of bummed out that I had to redo the front suspension after everything that I've done to get this car whipped into shape. To find out I still wasn't done was kind of disappointing. Also, I found out, and this is great news, I found out that the bolts on the front are kind of like the rear, where Tesla installed them backwards. So two of the bolts we're going to have to cut out with the Sawzall. The first two bolts, well, they weren't a whole lot of fun to cut out. I don't expect that these two bolts are going to be a whole lot of fun either, but it's the way it goes, I suppose. You see how easy this car just kind of comes apart? You know, just get under there, pry pieces up. There you go. Sorry for getting in your shop there, but get this up as well. We don't need to power the car down or anything for this either, which is always nice. There we go. And come on. It's literally Legos. There we go. Sit this out of the way. And now we have access to the tub. We got to start removing stuff out of the tub, which I've never done this before. I just don't think it's that complicated. You got some carpet right here. You don't even have to watch videos on how to do this, guys. It's really that simple. This weather stripping, I do believe, has to come off. Does it come up or? Okay, so it just comes up, just like that. There we go. Looks like it's one solid piece. Very nice. Just take that out of the way. So far, so good. I don't want to get too excited, though. I know better. This piece has to pop out. There's a light on the back. You got to pop that out. There's a switch. How do you pop this out? Just like that. There you go. And we'll set this right in front of you guys. You guys can watch that for me. Looks like we've got some of these great things, kind of like an old school Chevy. They just spin off. How simple. I shouldn't have said that. I know better than to say things like that. We'll put these up here with you guys. And then, let's just... Okay. What else we got? Really? And... there we go. Throw that to the side. Okay. Next, you got to take this tub out. Now, there are, I think, some clips or something that hold this tub into place. You also got to remove this right here. Looks like there's going to be some, I'm assuming those are 1/2 inch / 13s. There's a couple up here. I don't know if we have to take any of this off. There's one over here, one over here. I'm just going to start in a couple of tins up here. I'm just going to start zinging things off. And with any luck, soon this whole piece here will just pop right on out of the car. All right, I've taken the liberty of removing every bolt that I could find in here, just as a precaution. I didn't want to have to come back and do it again, so I took all the bolts out. There weren't that many of them. And oh, this has probably got to come off. It just pops off. Really? Okay. I told you guys, Lego. Oh. So, there we go. This has to come out first. Boy, that is covered in grime. And then, this comes out. There we go. We are seriously making progress. All right, are you guys ready to see the inner workings of a Tesla? You know how they tell you not to worry? There's very few moving components. It's what makes it more reliable and makes it last longer than a traditional car. Well, this is my first time going into the bowels of a Tesla, and I'm gonna say that's a lie. There's a lot of parts under here. And I think I figured out what most of them are. For sure, I haven't figured out all of them. So if you guys are Tesla savvy, maybe you can jump in the comment section, tell me if I'm getting it right or wrong. Let's start with this doodad right here that seems to be floating on air. I'm going to assume this is probably the air pump for the suspension. Speaking of the air pump for the suspension, you see this big shiny metal cylinder down here? Well, that's the air tank for the suspension as well. So once we get that out of the way, we can move over here. This is obvious, all those hard lines. This is an ABS pump module. Then you move over to here, and this is obviously your steering rack, and this would be your steering rack motor. It looks like on this car, the rack is relatively easy to replace. There's just a couple of components, a couple of bolts, and out it drops. So I'm very impressed so far. Now, moving on, it looks like we have some type of a pump right here. You move over and we have what looks like a diverter valve down here that's mounted kind of to this aluminum piece. That's some kind of diverter valve to allow flow or stop flow. It looks like we have another pump right here. And then this right here appears to be, well, honestly, I'm going to tell you guys, I have no idea what this is. This looks to me maybe some type of, well, this is another pump, I suppose. It's sitting on rubber isolators. Generally, anything on rubber isolators is a type of pump. I just don't know what this one goes to. It goes to a hard line, and it runs back. So perhaps this has something to do with the air conditioning, or maybe this has something to do with actually airing up this tank over here. It may have multiple pumps for all I know. Once we get over here, that, I'm guessing, is your air conditioning. You can see what looks like an AC hardline running to it, and it's a pretty big unit right there, guys, and it certainly looks kind of old. So this would be, I guess, the equivalent of your AC compressor, I think. Like I said, I don't know for sure if I'm right about any of this, but you follow all these lines around, and where do they go? Well, I don't know. Yeah, it runs right here, and then you run into here. Yeah, this is your AC compressor. You want to talk about an easy compressor to replace? How about that? That is not a big deal. It looks pretty complex. You have another diverter valve right here. All of these hoses, which is just crazy. This pump right here, that's got to be another coolant pump sitting down there. It's got a bunch of big hoses running out of it. Here's another bunch of hoses right here with yet another diverter valve. There are tons and tons of pumps and modules. Here's a radiator. That's going to be a cooling fan right there. And then it's got another radiator with another cooling fan over here. These are probably impact sensors for the airbag system. It's got one on both frame rails. So if it takes any type of a hit to either frame rail, once it experiences a certain G-force, it probably blows the front airbags. This is pretty complicated, guys. And I haven't even gotten to the suspension yet, but looks like most of it's pretty easy to replace. I don't know what it would cost to replace all of these hoses or who you would even call. How do you know if this hose blows? Where do you get that hose from? You know what I mean? Where am I going to get a part number for that specific hose in this mess of hoses? I have no idea, but that's beside the point. So here is one of our upper control arms, obviously. Now that we got all this out, look how crusty. I mean, this is just... Remember, this is a Northeastern car. Thankfully, the car is aluminum, but this is not. So Tesla didn't really lie to the guy. They said there's a lot of corrosion. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of corrosion up here. So I can see how to get this bolt out. The problem is there's another bolt on this side, and it does not go all the way through. So your guess is as good as mine how we're actually supposed to get this out. I'm going to have to do a little research, guys, and try to figure this mess out. Over here, same situation, really corroded and nasty looking control arm. Even if it's not bad, I think changing it is probably a good idea. So I got the wheel off, and I'm trying to see what I got to do to get this control arm out, and it looks like I'm going to have to pull the wheel liner out as well, which kind of sucks, but it's not too bad. There's a few little push pins that you got to pop out, then I think we can fold it over, and I'm betting that somewhere on the back side of this wheel liner is the through bolt or the nut or something that goes to this control arm here. Then, of course, you got the pinch bolt right here to get this off. And then it should just slide out, and the new one should slide in. These are directional, meaning only one of these will fit on this side. Right here, you see this little, there's a little hole right there, kind of a little tab sticking out. There's one on both of them, but they're on opposite sides, and that is for this right here. This is your height level sensor. And it looks like to get this off on the back side of this is probably a nut. Unfortunately, I can't see. I don't know if you guys can see, but to me, it looks like there's probably some kind of a nut on the back side of that. This slides out. So we got to take that off too. So I'm going to start pulling this fender liner out, and then I guess we can start taking things off, and hopefully we'll snap our fingers and we'll have a brand new upper control arm installed. All right, now before you jump into a job like this and you think this is going to be a piece of cake, right? I mean, it looks super easy. I'm here to tell you, if your bolts are as frozen as mine are, you're in for a world of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even joking, man. Everything has been a battle so far, and I ain't even got the top one off yet. I just got this off, and here's something I highly recommend: prep work. All right, if you've got a stud that's rusty like this, get you one of these steel brushes, and I mean, get into those grooves before you do anything. Clean all of this out, all angles, all sides, all right? Then hit it with a little bit of WD-40 to help ease the process, and you're going to find that it works a whole lot better. Now, if you're wondering, this is a 15, and you can hold this to break it loose with a 7mm on the very end here just to get it loose. Now, on the inside, this is where you got to get to the through bolt, which is right there, and it's hiding, you could see it there, behind the shock tower. Oh, yeah. That's fun. How we're actually going to get this out, I'm not sure without absolutely losing it. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's right, there it is, right there. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So it's a 15 mil. You got to get, what I ended up doing is getting a 15 mil wrench inside right there, and then using my impact on the outside. It's a lot of fun, and I assume this one's going to be equally as fun somewhere. No. So this one on this side looks like it's just going to be a through bolt that comes all the way out on this side. Now, for your level sensor right here, right? That little guy, 10 millimeter, but there's a 10 mil that you have to hold on the inside with a 10 millimeter wrench, and then you got to get to the outside nut with a 10 also. So that's, I'm telling you, loads of fun. Getting the ball joint out, oh my God, I didn't think it was going to happen. The ball joint was frozen. I mean, look at the corrosion in there, guys. I don't know how well that comes out, but I mean, it is severely corroded. Here is the bolt that came out. It goes in this way, and as you can see, it doesn't really want to even go in. Well, yeah, look at the corrosion falling out of it. Look at this. This is bad. Now, I've got to clean this up. I'm going to use a wire wheel on this. I'm going to clean this up as good as possible. The threads are completely caked full of corrosion. So it didn't want to come out. To get it out, I had to persuade it with a T50. So if you'll notice this end right here, yeah, just I had to spray it down with WD-40, and then I had to really hit it with an impact on this T50 just to break it loose. And then I had to put the nut back on the back, and I had to like really beat the living heck out of this to get it out. So hopefully it all goes back together, and then I had to take a pry bar, get it in here, pound that with a hammer to pry this pinch bolt loose, or this pinch piece right here loose, to finally get in here. I've still got a long way to go, guys, and it looks like I just started. I've spent quite a bit of time hammering and penetrating oil and just really going at this thing. So if you're going to do this, if this is on your list to do, I highly recommend you could do it yourself. Absolutely, I highly recommend it. Do it yourself, but be patient. Make sure you got plenty of tools and plenty of time. So I have run into no end of problems with this car. I'm really frustrated, but I'm trying to get this done. I'm probably going to have to come back and finish it another day, but don't worry, we'll continue in this video as if nothing ever happened. As it turns out, mine is not the dual motor, obviously, and apparently things are a little bit different. I don't know, but my 12-volt battery sits right here. Well, guess what? Do you see this upper control arm? Well, the bolt for it is somewhere right down here. There's no way you're going to get that out with the battery installed. And this battery is very tricky because the battery sits underneath. So make sure you go into your computer and you power the car off. It should be under safety, and just power the car off, okay? Once you do that, disconnect the fireman's loop. We've done that 100 times with this car in other videos. The fireman's loop is right here. It's got this little push pin. This plugs into it like this. It's got the picture of the fireman with cutters. Push the bottom and it'll click just like that, and then just lift up and pull out. Disconnect the negative terminal, which on mine is right here with a 10 millimeter. And then, this is important, you're going to have an 8 millimeter right here. That's got to come off. You also have a lug that goes right here. This right here is your lug. Okay, take that off. That's going to be a 13 mil. That's going to be an 8 mil. And then way over here, kind of hidden where you can't see it, right here where my, you're not going to be able to see it, where my finger is, right there. That is a 13 mil also, okay? Once you get that off, that lug off, and I put the nut back on, and the 8 mil, you should be able to just kind of lift this whole assembly out of the way. All right, now we're getting down to the battery. Here's your battery. We shouldn't need to take off anything from the positive side because that 13 that we took off that was all the way on the back, that actually goes to the positive lug right there. So all we need to do now is probably a 10 mil right down there. I think once we take that off, we can take this strap off, and then hopefully it's as easy as pulling out the battery. Something tells me it ain't going to be that easy, but that's what I'm going to do next. And then with any luck, we'll be able to get to the bolt that I need to get to on the back side of the upper control arm. All of this work for a single control arm. I'm still just getting started. Listen to me. If you're changing your 12-volt battery, or if you're doing your suspension like I am, please listen. This is a pain. You got to get down in here. And let me get you down in there. There's 1, 2, and then over here 3, and then down below 4, okay? Take those 4 bolts out. And by taking those 4 bolts out, what you're going to release is this piece right here that holds your air filter housing assembly, and it goes on this way with the longer side facing up, the sticker facing up, okay? Take that out because you're never, ever, ever going to get that battery out with it in there. This piece, it can stay. You don't have to take this all the way off because that would require removing the windshield wipers. Getting this out, there's a very specific method to it. It was very difficult, and putting it back in is going to be equally difficult. So I'm going to try to give you guys a quick look at how to do this, but be very cautious. You don't want to touch the positive and the negative to anything under here, okay? Anything that could be conductive, just avoid that at all costs. You're going to have to be pretty strong. This is a very heavy battery. It'd be great if this was lithium instead of, well, whatever this is. But I'm going to try to show you guys how to maneuver this battery in and out. Like I said, it's got to go in at a certain angle, a certain way, kind of sideways, and then you spin it and turn it. It's something. Now listen, if the screen flickers or if I shake you around a little bit, I'm sorry. I'm literally doing this to help you because I looked all over online and I couldn't find anything that helped me with this. I had to figure it out on my own, and I'm here to tell you, this is a lot of work for a battery. All right. Now again, try to keep that positive and negative separated. All right. I'm trying to remember how did I get it in? I think I got it in. Oh, good Lord, have mercy. From this side, push this thing as far out of the way as you can, and then turn the battery like this. Do you see how it's going in? It's going in all cattywampus, right? I mean, that doesn't look right, but that's how it goes. Ow! Fudge my finger! And there you have it, okay? The rest of it, just, patience. Now, getting it in was the easy part. Getting this thing back out of this hole is going to be, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, just kind of turn it, angle it, slide it. There you go. All right, I literally went through all of that extra work just in case there's one of you out there that's about to do this job or that needs to change your battery to make your life easier. All right, so now that we've got the battery out, I'm really hoping that the bolt for the upper control arm is sitting somewhere down in here. Somewhere. Do you guys see it? I think it's right there. There it is. There it is. Oh my goodness. All of that work was to get to that one bolt. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. This is, yeah. This is a lot of work, but I want to show you something. You remember this car always had a rattling noise going over bumps, and I changed the sway bar end links in hopes that was going to fix it. Listen to this. That's the ball joint. Hear that? Bingo! It's the control arms. Like I said, we're in here. We're going to do it. We're going to do it all. And we're going to do it right. All right, guys. This is it. Come on. Come on. Small victories. Am I right? That's what this is. That's what this is all about. Is small victories. Woo! Wow, I can't believe how long it's taken me to get this. Come on. It still doesn't want to come out. It's going to fight me all the way to the end, isn't it? Oh, that sucker's stuck in there. Oh, boy. Well, come on. Wow, listen to that. That thing is Kind of gnarly. Huh, okay, well, I guess I get to, I thought I was done. I really did. I thought, watch, I took out the wrong bolt. No, I got the right one. This is just gonna, it's gonna fight me a little bit longer, and then this will be the next small victory. I almost did this without you guys, because I'm just beat, man, but I couldn't. Gotta do this with you guys. Hot damn. I'm not joking. That was incredibly difficult for one control arm. I still got the rest of the car to do. Now, thankfully, the other control arm should be, I shouldn't say it, but it should be easier because there's not all this battery stuff in the way. I hope to God it's easier. So, oh boy, it's not. It's not going to be easier because the coolant bottle is in the way. Yeah, that is no joke. The coolant bottle is in the way. We got our level sensor over here. It's going to bolt to the back side underneath where this reservoir is. Actually, no. I can get to it from over here. I sure can. Yeah, once I get this liner out of the way, that one should be easy to get to. I shouldn't have said that, but I really think we're going to be able to get that one out without too much drama. Well, that's one down. Looks like this is going to be the that's not the replacement. Hold on. This one right here is going to be the replacement control arm. Hopefully they're all the same. Yeah, everything's identical. Looks good. Just a matter of putting this one in, putting it all back together, and we still have the lower control arms to get off as well. So we're about to put a load on the suspension before we tighten up the upper control arm. As you can see, I've got it installed, and these are just loosely installed. Here's the, well, there's the other one kind of hidden down there at the bottom. Just loosely installed, but I do have the pinch bolt all the way through and torque down. You don't have to do that with a load on it. So I've got this big block of wood, and it's carefully placed right underneath the lower control arms. It's not going to hurt anything. We're going to just kind of lower it down. And as you can see, we are compressing. This should be about normal ride height right here. Now we can come up to the top side and we can torque this down. I'm going to use my my impact on this one. Well, that's right. I'm an idiot. But that goes without saying. We're going to have to get in here. I forgot that the one on this side has a nut and a bolt, whereas the one on this side is just a through bolt. So I'm going to tighten it up with this, then I'll go and tighten the other one down, and then we can raise it back up, and we can continue on because we have two lower control arms on this side to replace as well. All right, next, it's time to remove the lower control arms. And to do this, I guess there's a couple ways I could have done it. I started taking this cover out, and then I decided this wasn't the direction I want to go. I don't think this entire cover needs to come out. And I suppose you can take it out if you want to. It's just a bunch of clip-on, but there's a bunch of clips, and obviously you risk damaging them. Now, under here are the bolts for the control arms. Right there. Both of these. These are going to be 21s. All right, easy enough. Then you've got another one that goes from the air strut, which is probably also a 21 right there. On the back side, you should be able to see the bolt for that. Then, of course, over here, yet another 21. Where's it at? Right there it is. Right there. And on the back side, yet again. All right, now, you want to try to mark these. What I did is I used a screwdriver and I scribed into the aluminum of the car and the bolt so I could get a halfway decent idea of where these things go when it's time to put them back in. Now, this one over here, unfortunately, is going to run into the battery. We've run into this problem before on the back side. So that one right there, we're going to be able to get it out just a hair, and then we're going to be stuck. And we're going to have to use a Sawzall to cut that bolt off. Not to worry, I have 2 new bolts sitting right here that are ready to go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the scribe mark on the old bolt, and I'm going to get it as close as I can on this one. It should get us good enough to be able to drive it to an alignment shop and get this thing aligned. Now, here's the direction I chose to go. I've got a 21 impact right here, and somewhere around here I'm stepping on all my clips and probably breaking half of them in the process. Let me see here. There's a bunch of clips under here. Yet again, more clips. And you can take this down. There's a few 10mm bolts, but only a few. There's like 1, 2, there's one in the center there. And you can drop this side down low enough to get up in here. And here's the screwdriver that I use to scribe my marks. And what you're going to see is, looky there, bingo, easy enough to get to that one. So we can probably use an impact on this, maybe. If not, we'll figure it out. And then easy enough to get to that one over there as well. So with this cover pulled down, it's actually not going to be that bad. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I know better than to say that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna film this whole thing. I got a feeling, even though I think it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be a pain. And I bet you money, if we set the camera down right here, look, you guys have a great shot at everything. How much you want to bet we can't get the? No, impact isn't gonna make it. I had a feeling we were gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. So I'm gonna grab, you know, a 21.5-inch drive ratchet. And I guess I'll start doing it that way. Man, it sucks that I have a lift and all that good stuff. And we're not able to use it because the Monte Carlo is on it. Oh, wow. That was a little loose, wasn't it? All right, come on. I got vice grips on the other side, kind of. Oh, kind of helping us along there. Good Lord. This is gonna be a chore, and I just know I'm about to bust my come on, bust my fingers. Gonna be a knuckle buster. There we go. There we go. Let her loose. Oh wow, that bushing is ripped. Look how much adjustment you get out of this suspension by turning this. Wow, I didn't realize there was this much adjustment in the suspension. Let's pop this off. With any luck, it just comes off now. It does. Set it out of the way, and just kind of wiggle with it a little bit. And try to. There we go. And remember, don't lose that washer that I literally just lost. Because you're going to need it. All right, next, give her a, oh my, oh my goodness. Whew. She ain't messing around. All right, let me find one of my decent little sledgehammers here. All right, let's try to, well, that's part of it. That ain't exactly. Ow! Fuck! Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. That's for sure. That was my my arm that I hit with a sledgehammer. Wow. No joke. Wow. They are not screwing around, man. How much you want to bet the nut ain't coming off? Come on. I'll bet you money it's just spinning in there. I'll bet you money. We'll find out. Come on. Yeah, it's just spinning. Ah. I expected as much. I truly did. Every single thing on this car has been a colossal pain in the ass. Nothing. Wait, never mind. No, it's coming off. Never mind. Forgive the language. Ugh. My God. Ugh. Wow. An impact would have been so much easier. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. And you already know it probably isn't gonna want to come out of here. No, of course not. She's frozen in there. Yeah. She is welded herself into the knuckle. Whew, I need a bigger sledge, I think, for this, or more room. Oh wow. Huh. Well, I've destroyed this control arm now, and it's starting to mushroom. I should have thought about that before I started tearing it apart. Yep. That is great. I am getting extremely frustrated. And I'm still going, guys. It's 10 o'clock at night. Dinner's been ready for hours, and I still have an hour to drive home. But when you take a look at this, we did it. We got one in. It's not torqued down yet because I got to put a load on it first. But I want to show you guys. I'm going to sit you down here, and I'm going to show you what eventually got this done for me. So let me put you down here, and then I'm going to raise you up just a hair. All right? Hopefully you can see that real good. Now, I've been beating on this thing, and oh, you already know. You already know what's coming, right? Yeah. I'm done playing. I broke out the air chisel. Nah. I broke out everything I got. And this is what worked on the other one. Now you got to get this thing super hot though. I mean, it's going to take a little while. Yeah, I used the air chisel on it and the air hammer. Nothing, man. As soon as I got some heat on it, surprise, surprise, it came loose. At least the other side did. I'm hoping that this side does as well. As I said, so far with this suspension, it has been a serious pain in the backside all the way around. It's just, this is original suspension. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it, and it's from the Rust Belt. So Tesla wasn't lying when they told the guy, hey, he said, man, your suspension is corroded, and this is going to be an expensive fix. I have no doubt that Tesla would have charged an arm and a leg to do this job. No doubt at all. I'm getting this good and hot, and as soon as I think it's hot enough, I'm going to keep getting it even hotter. And then we're going to whack it with a hammer, and we are going to hope that it breaks it loose, just like it did on the other side. Whew, she's getting warm. She's getting warm. Alright, I think it's about time. What do you guys think? Ready to hit it? Now, it's under the pressure of the air strut and everything as well, so I don't expect it's just going to pop out. But I'm hoping we can at least break it loose. That's all I want. Where's my hammer? Oh, I lost it. Great. You ain't got much time. There it is, right there. Bingo! See all that? Ah, thank you, thank you. I gotta let it cool off a little bit before I go getting under there and trying to move stuff around. But we're close, guys. We are really, really close. All right, after cutting and cutting and cutting, I can't even feel my arm anymore. That Sawzall, man. Oh, wow. That sucker's in there, isn't it? That's, there we go. Come on. I'm gonna have to bang that down some. She's kind of hung up in there a little bit. There we go. Come on. There we go. Oh, good Lord. What a nightmare this was. I ain't even kidding. So here's the bolt I had to cut with the Sawzall. Man. Yeah, that was a pain. This is an extremely thick and really, really hard bolt, guys. I can't even tell you how much this weighs. Quite a bit. It's 10:30 and I'm still out here. I ain't even got one side done. You know what I mean? I'm hopeful the other side's going to be a little bit easier, but I don't think it's going to give me too much of a break. I'm going to button this side up, and then I'm going to call it a night. I'm not putting the battery back in. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to button up the suspension, get the weight on it, torque it down, and then I'm going to call it a night. I'll put the wheel back on, put the wheel liner, the wheel liner and everything back in. But here's the parts that I decided to change. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's factory. Sure is made in Canada. Wow, 300,000 miles. I'll be honest with you, this one doesn't look bad. It's still got the Tesla logo on it. This one really doesn't look bad. That's almost impossible to believe. Wow. I'm not saying it's not bad, but that one certainly doesn't look bad. This one, the first one that we had to heat up real good to get out, yeah, you can hopefully see, maybe there's enough light, maybe not. It's ripped in several places, that bushing. So without a doubt, Firestone was right. This part had to be replaced. And I'm still certain with the noise that this is making, that needed to be replaced as too. So that needed to be replaced as well. So we are close to having one side almost done. And then I get to do it all over again on the other side. Not to where I ain't going to make you guys go through that with me. There's no reason for you to have to suffer any longer. This video has taken far longer to make than I ever anticipated. So I'm going to button this side up. It should be just a matter of bolting everything back up, putting the weight on it, torquing it down, and then calling it a night. I think I'm ready to call it a night. There's all of the old... Take a look. I mean, I am literally just covered in dirt and grease. I mean, every bit of me. This is a lot for this little car. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping that if you do the suspension on this once in 300,000 miles, you don't have to do it again for another 300,000 miles. That's the hope. Under here, and I know this light kind of flickers on you guys a little bit. I'm sorry if it does that. But as you can see, I've got everything tightened down, and I dropped it down on this board, and then I torqued everything down. I'm sure the alignment is totally off right now, but it's as good as I'm going to get it. I had already done the top beforehand, so all I had to focus on really was the bottom. So there's all your new suspension components. As you can see, it's all installed, and it's almost done. I mean, not really. This side, I think, is the hardest because you've got the battery in the way back there. There's a lot to get to on this side, but I'm happy to say that I believe this is the hardest side to do because of that dang battery and having to remove all the stuff down in here, all of the electronics. Such a pain. I think the hard part is over. I'm not going to bother filming the other side. Obviously, it's going to be almost the same as this side, except easier, because you don't have the battery in the way. Like I said, the bolt, the through bolt for that side, super easy to get to. Just pull that fender liner out, and you can get to it from the back side. This side should be a breeze compared to what I just went through, but still, all of this what you're seeing here, all of this was just to get one side done. Just one side, the driver's side front. All of this just for that. So definitely not as easy as you might think. I thought so far everything on this, everything on this car has been super easy to do, and I thought this is not going to be a big deal. I found a video on YouTube where Delphi Automotive or something, I don't know. Anyway, those guys, they have great videos. I'm not knocking them or their videos, but I am going to say they made it seem like this was a no-brainer. This was, you could do this in your sleep. I'm here to tell you that this is just a job. So if it's something you're thinking about tackling, I think if you are a DIY type of person, I think you can do this. I do. I think you can handle it. But I'm telling you, be prepared. You're going to spend a lot of time and look at all these tools. Absolutely insanity. Absolutely insane. Make sure you don't need your car, because honestly, I don't see you doing this in a day. We're doing it old school because my lift is taken up by the Monte Carlo SS, which is still waiting on the transplant. But I'm doing this old school on the ground, so this is probably the way 99% of you are going to have to do it. And I'm here to tell you, it's a chore. It's definitely a chore. But if you take your time, and when you get really angry, and you're going to get really angry many times, walk away, take a little break, come back to it in a few minutes. It ain't going to go anywhere. I think it's something most DIY people can handle. So I'm not going to say it's not something you can do, but I am going to say those gentlemen at Delphi Automotive or whatever, they were like, yeah, you just pull this bolt right here, no big deal, pull this back, pull this bolt here, pull that bolt, off it comes. No. That is a lie. This does not just come apart. Everything is welded together from age, from corrosion. It's rough. It's really rough. But thankfully, we've got one side finished, and I'm going to tackle the other side on my own. Don't worry, I'll come back in another video, and I'll be sure to tell you if it passes the alignment this time. I've probably got at least another few hours on the other side to do, and then I've got to do that. I told you I got to loosen and retorque that rear arm that I installed because I forgot to put a load on it first. So I'm going to have to redo that and hope that I didn't rip the bushing. Otherwise, I'll be buying another suspension component for this car. Hopefully, when we're done, the alignment goes through well. Hopefully, it passes with flying colors and it's aligned perfectly. And I'm also hoping that that nasty rattling noise that we were getting will be gone. I can't guarantee that it's going to be gone, but that noise has just been annoying the living crap out of me. Hopefully that will be gone as well. I thank you guys so much for sticking with me through the video. It was a lot of work, but I'm going home and I'm going to bed because it's 11 o'clock. I'm not even going to get home until midnight, and I haven't even had dinner yet. So do me a favor, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button and let me know. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and be sure to drop those comments down below. Until next time, stay safe out there, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next one.